It's 2 o'clock in the great city of Philadelphia. Welcome to the Kenneth L. Johnson Show. Excited to have you here. Listen, I know all my people in Philly, we got to calm down a little. The Eagles lost. The Phillies lost. The Phillies get to redeem themselves today. I believe the Eagles get to redeem themselves on Thursday against the Giants. Phillies against the Dodgers tonight. Big city games. But I know if you're riding around on 106.5, I could not do you the disservice and not talk about what's happening in the city, right? So with that being said, go Phils. We need y'all to get this win today. People, I was on the streets. I was walking up Chestnut Street today, and people literally had the Phillies gear on, and they were excited. So let's get it done tonight. I will be in South Philadelphia tonight doing what I do, hanging out and rooting for the Phillies. Listen, everybody in South Philly, if you're tuned on 106.5, I appreciate you. North Philly, West Philly, Southwest, Northeast, Uptown, everybody, suburbs. Listen, we do this each and every Monday at 2 p.m. It's the Kenneth L. Johnson Show live on WPPM 106.5 FM, Philadelphia. All right, I got to get serious now. I want to welcome everybody to the show where we talk careers, culture, and community. I'm your host, Kenneth L. Johnson, and today's episode is special, extremely special. It's October, which means it's Women in AI Month, and we're celebrating the woman shaping one of the most powerful forces in the world today, artificial intelligence. I know you've heard about it. I know people call it AI, but before we get into today's conversation, I want to talk about what I talk about. Yeah, I want to really talk about what I talk about. Hold on. We need to find a way before we get into this conversation. We really need to talk about the headlines that tell the story around. Hold on, I need to do some technical stuff here. Let me get situated. Yes, there we go. All right. Hold on. I've been out of studio for about 3 weeks. So sometimes I forget to do some of the things I need to do to make this show exceptional here on WPPM 106.5 Philadelphia. So let's get serious about this. There's some things happening across this country that are a little disturbing, and we're going to talk about it right now, because right now the headlines tell a story that impacts everyone from Wall Street to Main Street. As of this week, the U.S. government is in shutdown mode, complete on lock. Congress couldn't agree on a spending plan, so parts of the government are literally closed. Now, that's serious on its own, but this is where it gets really interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Because of the shutdown, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, they couldn't release a monthly jobs report. You know I lean on the monthly jobs reports each month. So this means for the first time in years, we don't have an official read on what's happening in the job market. No data on job gains or losses, no unemployment rate, no wage growth, no stats. In short, we're kind of flying blind right now. But some private sector reports suggest that the economy may have lost around 30,000 jobs. In September alone, the economy may have lost 30,000 jobs, which would break a long streak of steady job growth. But this can't be confirmed, and it's without data. But without data, policymakers, employers, and workers are left guessing about where things really stand. So I don't know. Did we lose 30,000 jobs? Didn't we lose 30,000? I get the feeling that number is probably pretty accurate, just based on kind of what I'm hearing out and about. So with that being said, we'll get back to you. Hopefully next week, that situation will be resolved with the government. Things can get moving in the right direction, and we can get some real data to you. This isn't just a numbers issue. It's a people issue. Federal workers, they're furloughed. Small businesses, of course, feeling the pinch. Communities that rely on public services are really under pressure. Look, I'm in Philly. We're like maybe a half a block from the Liberty Bell here in Independence Hall, the Philly Cam Studios. People out there just walking around trying to look through a window at the Liberty Bell. Come on, man. We can do better than this. This all reminds us that the world of work is deeply connected, because there should be people there working, allowing people to see this history. But whether we're talking about government jobs, tech innovation, or AI-powered industries, when one system stalls, it really affects all of us. So while the nation debates budgets and shutdowns, there's another conversation happening about the future of work and who gets to shape it. And that's where today's guest comes in. I am super excited. Hold on, let me reach over here and get this together for people that are watching online and on LinkedIn and streaming worldwide. I am really excited for today's guests, right? In a world where artificial intelligence is transforming every sector, representation and inclusion aren't optional. They're actually essential. And leading the charge is Angel Bush, the founder and CEO of Black Women in AI, an organization dedicated to educating, engaging, embracing, and empowering Black women in artificial intelligence. Angel's work is global. Her vision is bold, her timing is perfect because, as I just shared with her pre show, AI reshapes how we live and work. We need voices like hers guiding the direction. Angel, welcome to the Kenneth L. Johnson Show.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I am so excited. I'm going to take you back to 2008
Talk to me.
when the calling cry was, I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. So I hope you guys are ready to go as well.
Well, I'm fired up. I'm ready to hear you talk about what's happening out here in the space. Look, I just gave a brief overview. Tell our audience a little bit about Angel Bush and who you are.
I am the founder of Black Women in Artificial Intelligence. As Ken said, our mission is to educate, engage, embrace, and empower
I
Black
love it.
women in the artificial intelligence sector. We've been around for 5 years. We celebrated our 5 year anniversary this year. We have a great team, great members, and in my opinion, we're doing great work.
You're doing great work indeed. Listen, I'm excited. I want to get started. Let's just start where we are today. So, we're in the middle of a government shutdown, as you know, I'm sure.
Mhm.
No jobs report, a lot of economic uncertainty, yet AI is moving faster than ever. That's not going to stop. From your perspective, where's the opportunity for women, especially Black women, in this kind of unpredictable climate?
I think it's an opportunity for us to make predictions. And what I mean by that, everyone who has ever heard me speak will know where the vantage point I'm coming from. It's important that we're in the lab. And when we're in the lab, it has to be despite what's going on in the world. We know that there is a government shutdown, but that doesn't mean we are shut down. That doesn't mean we stop learning. That doesn't mean we stop training. That doesn't mean that we stop. And so for me, when I hear government shutdown or when I hear information where funding is being taken, it is up to us to determine the direction of where we're going to go. And I'm going to always point you to the lab.
To the lab, indeed. Look, Black women in AI, you guys have become a global movement.
Yes.
Every movement starts with a spark. So if you don't mind, Angel, and I think we spoke about this in the past, but take us back to the beginning. What inspired you to launch this organization, and what gap did you see that no one else was addressing?
You know, this all started, and I will tell this story again. This all started with Usher. I don't know Usher. Usher does not know me. However, in 2019, I was in the midst of building a robot, and that robot's name was going to be Usher. Don't judge me. And so, within the confines of that, I started to attend YouTube University, trying to figure out the parameters of this robot. And in the midst of that research, I started to hear more and more about artificial intelligence. And so there was an event actually here in Houston, Texas. And I said, I want to know more about this AI. What is it about? They keep calling it the fourth industrial revolution. And so when I entered the event, I did not see a full reflection of myself. And again, they continue to call it the fourth industrial revolution. And in those moments, I said to myself, well, surely you can't have a revolution without Black women. And so that was the genesis of Black women in artificial intelligence. Again, we're celebrating 5 years as of August 1st of 2020, and we're just so excited about what's happening in the community and the ecosystem.
I love that answer. It's the Kenneth L. Johnson Show, WPPM 106.5 FM in Philly. All right, so Angel, we build this show on career, culture, and community. Now you brought up Usher, so I'm going to have to stay there for 1 second. Did you go to the Vegas residency?
I did not. I
No?
did not. I did attend one of his concerts here in Houston a long, long, long time ago. But
Okay.
no, I did not go to the residency.
All right. I'm going to get back. I'm going to get back focused again, but I had to ask that question. I don't think I had asked you that question. We bump into each other on occasion out here in outside, as I tell everybody. We see each other. I just saw you recently. I believe that was August or July at the National Urban League Conference in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And you were there doing some things. Talk to me a little bit about what you were doing there.
I actually had a panel discussion with another young lady, Cynthia Resford.
Yes.
We did a panel in terms of artificial intelligence, discussing it, and also just having those conversations about misinformation. When you're going online, can you tell whether something is real or whether something is fake? And it's getting to be challenging to tell the difference. And so we talked about how to become a digital citizen, a critical digital citizen, and the importance of that. And for me, it's making sure that whatever you post, you repost, you put your name on. I think it's important that you know beforehand that it is rooted in truth. And so we had a great time at the National Urban League Conference. They did a great job in bringing AI to the show, making sure that their members and those attendees were well informed of what artificial intelligence is, what it isn't, and what's happening in that space.
Man, you and Cynthia Resford, what a dynamic duo. I know I saw you guys moving around the conference floor, and I was just so excited to see you guys there. I didn't get a chance to sit in on your panel, but I know it was amazing. And as I told you, I need to connect with Cynthia. So please tie those dots for me.
I will. I will.
All right, listen, your mission centers on 4 words: educate, engage, embrace, empower. Those words sound simple, but they're really powerful. If you can kind of just walk me through kind of your mindset around some of those principles.
Well, when we're talking about educate, engage, embrace, and empower, I think it encompasses the entire pipeline of being a part of something big, being a part of something that matters. When we're talking about educate, that comes in context with our partners. Some of our partners offer training, and so that's the education portion and piece of it. Um, Engage, we want to make sure that we bring members in and they understand what we're doing, why we're doing it, and we're engaged with one another so that they don't feel alone. Educate, engage, embrace. We're embracing whatever they come with, whatever, whether they are new into AI, they're pivoting into AI, or they're returning to tech. We embrace them, and then we empower them by giving them the tools and access and opportunities to create and do whatever it is they need to do to make sure that they are part of this ecosystem.
You've created something just so necessary right now. I don't know how long there's been a Women in AI month, but when I found out about it, you were my first call. I knew I needed to talk to you. So the thing I appreciate about you and your work is that it's just not about creating access; it's about creating belonging. And that's been a word I've kind of really held on to recently. You've built an ecosystem where Black women in AI can see themselves reflected at every level, right? From research to leadership to entrepreneurship. And, I think that's especially important right now because in times of economic uncertainty, diversity initiatives often become the first thing to get paused, right?
Yeah.
We spoke about that last week. Budgets shrink, programs freeze, and people say, well, we'll get back to the equity thing when things stabilize. The truth is, the equity work is economic work, right? So you positioning your constituents to be successful, that's true economy pushing work, right? When we invest in inclusion, we strengthen innovation, and that drives long-term growth. So let me ask you a question here. When you talk to leaders in tech or our policy leaders even, what do you say to help them understand that empowering women in AI isn't just a moral decision, but it's really a strategic one?
Well, when we have conversations, we really talk about most people want to get to the bottom line. And when Black women walk into the room, your product just got better. And those are facts. That's not my opinion. That's not my pie in the sky idealism. Your product just got better because it is important to have diversity of opinion, diversity of thought, diversity of intellect, diversity of experience. And so when we're having our conversations, they actually center on access and opportunity. What are we doing? How are we in the lab creating and building? Everything else, we've put that to the side because we know how important it is for us to build our own. Because if you are not building on your own, you are beholden to the systems and softwares. You're beholden to administrations that may change in the next 2 years and they may never change. Who knows? And so for me, having conversations with leaders is about what can we do? What can we do now? But also, do we have a long term strategic vision? Because this is not about a tweet. This is not about a post on social media so that we can be, seen on those things. This is about a long term strategy of change.
You know, I love that. And it's such an important point because the story of AI can't just be about algorithms and automation, right? It has to be about people.
Yes.
And one thing that's clear from your work, at least that I see, is that the next wave of innovation will either include us or exclude us, depending on the choices being made right now. So you've made a conscious choice to include us. So I thank you for that, and I appreciate that. I want to stay in that for the moment, right? As you look ahead 5, maybe even 10 years, what do you want to see change in how AI talent is developed and supported?
5 or 10 years, I've been asked that question several times. And to be honest, what I want to see is Black women in AI, the organization, being so successful that we no longer need to exist. We should just be Black women that are in AI. And so when we talk about the future, when we talk about what's coming and what's next, we are here right now. And we will be here in the future in 5 to 10 years. We're going to innovate. We're going to build all the things that we need in terms of our community. Um, and one of the things that I will say that I hope to see is that we stop studying our competition. We have to stop studying our competition. And I know those who went to business school are probably scratching their heads right now. What do you mean? That's one of the first things we're taught. Stop studying your competition and start studying your community. Because when you study your community, you learn the needs of the community, you learn the dreams of the community, and you learn what may harm the community when you're creating these different ecosystems, when you're creating the systems and softwares that will impact the communities. So stop studying your competition and start studying your community.
Community is what we do well here at the Kenneth L. Johnson Show. We're all about career, culture, and community. You belong here, and you belong here, Angel Bush. As you speak that, I want to know what would a true equitable AI ecosystem look like to you?
I think when AI is democratized, that's equitable to me. And I am more on the how do we build partnerships that will assist us in democratizing AI. There are several large companies that really are running AI at this moment. And we have to be careful because, again, when you're relying on 4 or 5 systems, and those systems potentially break down, I doubt if they will, but if something happens to those systems, then what will you do? We have to start thinking long term, what's going to happen in the future as we educate our community. Not just black women, but black men, not just black men, but Hispanic, Latin American, Latinos, I'm sorry. All of those communities, all of our communities need to be educated in AI so that we can understand the risk, but we can also understand the things that we can improve.
That's really powerful. And it reminds me of something that, in the work we do at East Coast Executives, it reminds me of something that I tell leaders all the time. You can't build the future if everyone at the table looks like the past. Representation, it isn't decoration, it's more direction, right? And that's what I'm hearing you say. Kind of where did you get that philosophy from, that mindset from? Tell me a little bit about where that came from.
Experience. It really has come from experience. I've said this before, and I will continue to say it. We talk about the table a lot. I want to dismantle the table personally. We talk about being in the room, but we don't talk. We there's a full stop there. We don't go beyond being at the table or being in the room. And when that is the full stop, that is the height of what we will do. We have to consider, when you're at the table or you're in the room, do you have power, authority, or influence?
You know,
Otherwise, it is decoration.
I wanna go way back, and I like even before the Usher robot. I want to talk about like if you had the young angel, right? And I can't stand this question, but I want to ask it of you.
Okay.
What would you tell your, I don't know, high school self, your college self? Just because this wasn't something that was happening out here. There weren't a lot of people that look like you doing the things that you're doing.
You know what? To be honest, I wouldn't tell my younger self anything, because if I tell my younger self something, then something changes.
Mm,
The direction of my life is not the same. The people that I'm hoping that I'm helping may not be helped. And so for me, I would switch the question around and say, what would I tell my older self?
okay.
And my older self, I would say, you did well. Don't worry. All will be well. It turned out well, for you, instead of the younger self, because this younger self changes the total direction of my life.
I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that indeed. Listen, as we close today, I want to circle back to where we started. The government shutdown and the missing jobs report remind us that data truly does matter, because
Yes.
data tells stories. It helps us understand where opportunity lives and where it has been denied. But as Angel has reminded us today, AI is about data too. If we're not careful, these same blind spots can get coded into the future.
Mm.
That's why organizations like Black Women in AI are so critical. They're not just shaping technology, they're shaping the ethics, access, and equity behind it. So happy for you and the work that you're doing, Angel. You are really a blessing out here to a lot of people. So as we celebrate Women in AI Month, let's remember this: innovation isn't innovative if it leaves people behind, and progress isn't progress unless everyone has a seat at the table, right? Angel, I want to thank you for your leadership, for your vision, for joining us today on the Kenneth L. Johnson Show. I need you, before you leave, we got to do this. Tell us how people can stay connected to the work you're doing. Are you due anywhere? Like, are you going to be on a platform that we need to keep an eye out for? It's Women in AI Month. I know you're probably really busy.
Well, there are so many things that are coming up, but one of the things that I did want to announce here on the show is that we are having an innovation in the lab innovation cohort in partnership and collaboration with NVIDIA. That's coming up very soon. It's
All right.
already
All right. Hold
full,
on. Hold on.
so
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. So, in partnership with the one of the world's largest companies, and probably the largest as growth is concerned, and you've
Yes.
partnered through. Talk your talk. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. We have been working with NVIDIA for 3.5, almost 4 years now. It'll probably be 4 years by the end of the month. And they have been great collaborators on a number of cohorts that we've been a part of. And, people say, where are Black women in AI? They're at NVIDIA. They're members of Black Women in AI that are also employees of NVIDIA. But there are so many great people at NVIDIA. And it's really, to be honest, it's about the people that are there, that are opening the doors and creating that access and that opportunity. And it's just phenomenal what we're doing with them. And hey, look towards the future. It's going to be great.
It is going to be great. It's so you speaking about that, and I know it seemed like a close, but so there are a lot of I'm seeing a lot of courses. I think NVIDIA even has some courses that people can take, free courses that
Mhm.
people can take to kind of get up to speed or at least get some foundational AI stuff going on here. Is there anything that you suggest? And then tell me at what level you suggest it, right? Is there something you suggest for people that are entry level in their careers just to kind of stay current? Or is there something you suggest for people that maybe can build on some skill sets that they already have that are tech related?
I would say look to Microsoft Azure and really hone in on the courses that they have. They have some great courses that'll teach you what is needed in the industry right now. We are also, full disclosure, partnered with Microsoft as well. And so I think that those courses will get you a great start. There are other organizations that are hosting courses, but I'm also going to say, check out every organization that you can. So many people are really out here doing the work. Black in Robotics, Dr. Barry, she's doing the work. Elizabeth Adams, Dr. Elizabeth Adams, she's doing the work in Minnesota. It's so many people. You are doing the work. You're going to be at Excel conference. So
Yes.
many people are doing the work. And so we will never be able to say, well, they didn't, or nobody told us, or nobody, told us about what's happening in AI. So many organizations. There is a Black in AI that are doing, people and organizations that are doing the work. And we just want you guys to reach out to those organizations. And of course, you can always join Black Women in Artificial Intelligence at www.blackwomeninai.com.
Listen to that radio voice right there. It's Angel Bush live on the Kenneth L. Johnson Show. WPPM 106.5 Philadelphia. It's always a pleasure every time I get a chance to connect with you. You are amazing. I really appreciate you and all that you do. Thank you for one of the things that you do, and that's coming through and supporting the Kenneth L. Johnson Show. I know we've supported one another and amplifying each other's voices, and this is just another piece of that. Hey, I'd like to tell everybody this is the power of networking. I'm not even sure how we got connected, but one way or another, we got connected. And I've been knowing Angel for a few years now, and we've just stayed kind of supporting and bringing synergy to one another's mission. So, with that being said, Angel, please give them the website again for your organization.
It's www.blackwomeninai.com.
Philly, you got to support her, right? LinkedIn, you got to support her. Streaming worldwide, you got to support her. All right. And also, you got to support yourself. These are skills necessary for the future of work. So, you want to tap in, and it's what we do here on the Kenneth L. Johnson Show: career, culture, community. You belong here. So, we want to provide information that allows you to grow in your careers. We want to provide voices that also allow you to grow in your career and in your professional development. Please do yourself a favor, go to LinkedIn, connect with Angel. She got a group. There's a group you shared this information with on LinkedIn, and they literally tapped in. I was speaking to people from that group this morning. What group? What group
Awesome.
is that?
I
I
think
can't
it's the
remember. I think
Black
you might.
Black Executive Network.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they came through. I was this morning. I'm like, hey, all right, where'd these people come from? And they're like, no, we saw Angel's post. So I appreciate you, but I also appreciate our audience for tuning in and just doing this thing with us each and every Monday at 2 p.m. It's the Kenneth L. Johnson Show. I wouldn't be able to do this without the work and help of the people here at Philly Cam. Producer, program manager Allison came in and gave me a little guidance during the show. So if you saw me a little distracted earlier, that's what that was all about. But we got it done, and we got it done with Angel Bush. It's Kenneth L. Johnson here live on WPPM LP Philadelphia 106.5 FM.